We're going live. Yes, and we're live. So hi everyone, those who are here in real life, in the chat stream, those who may be watching in replay. So g'day to everyone, and whether it's night, evening, daytime, whatever, because we are aware that there's many people around the spaces that are this world, this Mother Earth we're on. So hi Leanne, how are you?
Hey Roz, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I've just remembered as we've gone live, everything's starting to beep from notifications. So I'm just muting phones.
Yes. Thank you for that reminder. I'd forgotten that too. The phone.
Okay, hang on. There's noises. Which device?
Oh God! And we are so caught up in all our technology.
We forget what does what. There's so much of it. So it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It really is crazy.
Something's still beeping.
Something's still beeping. Ooh. Well, I'd like to say hello to Madeline and to Joanne Rogers. They're first in line as far as saying hello. So it's nice to welcome you here. Be fun to see where everyone's from today too, because I don't always remember to sort of ask that. As far as just typing, where are you from? It's not something I can look up real quick at the back end of the live. So, how international we really are, what that smallness of the world is. The technology is creating that smallness of the world in many respects, and yet we still are on a very large planet.
We are.
So, there you go. Joanne is from Port Broughton. Funny that. Tony's coming down from, Fisherman's Bay today.
It's just on the road, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because we don't always, what I've got in the intro, as far as, the little description thing that we've got to put with our events or our reminders and things like that on this technology. Just a reminder, if you're on Leanne's page, Psychic Medium, what is your name of your page? Leanne,
it is one of those days, isn't it? I love it. You just have to excuse me because I'm just sharing it to my page at the moment because the cross post hasn't worked.
Look, after it, we had a webinar last night that we were both part of, and we did go through cross-posting. Cross-posting is where this page, which is mytimetv.live, we're able to share the event out by cross-posting to mine is Hypnosis Plus with Roz and Bet's Holistic Therapy, because I've still got that page open, and to Leanne Winston Psychic Medium, as if we're each going live on those pages. I did try doing that too, Leanne. I couldn't get it out again. I'll have to really spend time trying to do that. So it's all fun, all works out in the end. I ended up sharing the link. And the reminder that for those on our other pages is to click on that link that says My Time TV. It's got to be that link with the numbers 355 at the end of it to get to here where your comments will be seen. So did I say all that right?
Yes, you did. Excellent. It goes so slow when I'm running a second screen, so I think it will come up there in a second. You will have to excuse my husband coughing his lungs out in the background. He has man flu.
Yeah.
So
and I'm just going to quickly say hello to these who have joined in while there might be others coming in from the other pages. So Charlene, hi, you're in Adelaide. Leanne, you're in Tasmania. That's getting a bit further. Yeah. Joanne, we've already done, yes, Port Broughton. Amy, hi Amy.
Good morning. Well, honey.
And we've got Josh. It's hard to look at the screen and do the back end of the screen.
Morning, Josh.
Hi. And
Hi, Melissa. It's lovely to see some regular faces and some new faces coming in. So
it's okay. Kirk, how would you say that one? Colleen. That sounds nice.
I like it. Yeah.
Hi, Melissa. I think, did we have her before? Yeah, look, this is where I lose track of. Referencing to the cross posting. It can be
it can do your head in if you can't get your head around it.
And hi, Kathy. So that's all we've got coming in at the moment with the comments. One of the things, because in my description I also say, look, sometimes there'll be a topic. It's not all about readings. It's not just a psychic channel. It's just bits and pieces of everything, what we feel like, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And we can set our intention to what we want to do, but spirit take over and then we'll change it.
And it's one of those things this morning. I'm going to share my screen because as I was waking up this morning, actually, I don't think with three of us I can actually have just that and me in the corner. So you're just going to have to look at it. Having a look at that one, it's when your plans to be social earlier in the week, but when the day comes, you're like, I just want to stay in bed. Now, I have got a bit of a descriptive in there because it really is being in the moment of now. And as I was waking up this morning, I thought, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to lay here. And yet I know that we have this wonderful, fun time on Tuesday mornings. I love it. I just didn't want to get out of bed.
We could do it from our beds, Roz. That's what laptops and iPads are for.
Yeah, but when you're on the back end, you have to have a computer.
Very true.
It's the one thing with Be Live TV. Fantastically easy to use, but you do need, for hosting, you do need the hardwired. Oh, not hardwired, but it's better.
Stay in bed. You might have to get up.
You could stay in bed. I'd have to get up.
Yeah, so, my body doesn't like laying in bed too long in one place. So.
Yeah. Well, I just rolled over and I did go snoozing a little bit longer, but I do have a dog that sort of gets a bit hungry, so that was the call to. I actually did get out of bed, obviously, because I'm here, and we're here. I just wanted to also refer to a conversation that we sort of had last night too, and one that comes to mind that I'd had with Tony as well. And that was around depression and how, sometimes with the lives that we do, you don't always want to just do, like I mentioned before, just do readings and stuff. There's times where you really feel like there's something that you need to be talking about. And we were just chatting about that one around depression last night, weren't we? And how do we do the shows? Just figuring out what ways you can do that type of thing where it's just, I just feel like talking. And the interaction, part of the beauty of these types of shows is we can actually interact and show, people who are joining in like we can with this and the chat line. And another one. Oh, there we go. I'm wanting a reading already. And it's a big one. Hi, Amy. We're going to leave that for a bit later. And others who have already been said hello to. It was more, it's great having the interactivity, but it just is something that at times you feel that you need to be talking about something that's close to your heart, that you've seen close to you. The reason I put up that picture of the mouse in the bed, because I know people with scleroderma. It's an incurable disease and it's debilitating. It's one that in most cases is hidden. You can't see that that's what they're suffering from. The fibromyalgias, the chronic fatigue syndromes, the MS, the list just goes on and on and on, and we're just not aware that other people may be having those sorts of issues. And we need some of that understanding that maybe they're just in a grumpy because they are going through stages of depression because of illness, or just because that's something that it's not always the physical. Sometimes it is a straight mental health issue, and we need to be understanding of it. So what's your ideas around that yourself? Because I know that's something you will want.
Well, that's it. For those that don't know, I suffer with fibromyalgia and chronic pain and stuff like that. So for me, sometimes it's easier just to put the smile on it and make out that you're okay and just keep going, sort of thing, because a lot of people don't understand. And then you get some people that will give you that look, and it's like, I feel sorry for you, but that doesn't help either. It's sort of that feeling that, you know, unless you're experiencing those things, that whether it is the fibro, the MS, because you can look at people and go, you look normal. And depression is the same thing. We can look at somebody and you might look a little bit down, but you'd think there's nothing wrong with them. It goes on, you know, it's more internal stuff that we can't see, that, and unless you're experiencing it, we really don't understand it. Or have, you might, you know, okay, let's work on depression. I've got people in my family that suffer with severe depression, okay? They've had suicide attempts and whatnot else. You can see what they're going through, but you really, truly don't understand what they are going through in that sense, unless you have experienced it yourself. So you can sort of like, and as I'm sure you do, Roz, as an empath, we can feel their pain. So I guess we get that little bit more of an insight than what some people do to that in that way. But it's one of those things that we can be there, we can be supportive, we can be loving, and we can try and help them through these situations. But at the same time, it is really hard to understand in that way. So, you know, sometimes we've got to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, fibromyalgia, English would help. Fibromyalgia is something is still beeping. I don't know. I'm going to ignore it. I've turned the phones off.
We can.
I don't know what else could. Oh, maybe the iPad. I just thought about that. Sitting in front of me, it blends in with the desk. Fibromyalgia is something that is still not fully understood by the medical profession. Yes, I've been to a professor. He's diagnosed it. They can give you tablets and whatnot, but it's all hit and miss. It's everybody's body works differently, this sort of thing. So, you know, it is really hard when even your medical profession doesn't understand where you're coming from with your pains and stuff, and to keep going to the doctor and keep getting told there's nothing wrong with you, it's in your head, you know, and stuff like that can be quite depressing at the same time. So it's like one snowball effect after another in that way. So it will, you know, like I said, we're all different. I think I said to you last night when we were talking about the mediumship side of stuff, we are all very different in the way we work, but nobody is better than anybody else. And I think that with our health as well, we are all individuals. We are all work differently. Things affect us. I was having a conversation with my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, about drugs last night and these, you know, what all is up in the media at the moment. And it was really good to be able to talk to her and explain, even marijuana, you know, that, and I know we weren't meaning to get onto the drug situation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Marijuana is something that we don't always have the structure, the chemical structure in ourselves to handle that drug. One person will react differently to a substance or a medication or whatever. We're not textbook, we're individuals, sort of thing. And I think we need to be treated as individuals on so many different levels as well. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm just going to put a couple of the comments up here. One is very long, but you know, there's various things that do trigger depression. There's various things that even from the depression can lead to other illnesses and vice versa. Like you said, we are all individuals. And in this one, Robin, just as a quick, why does that not do that? Okay. Part of that is it is the body physical, it's the body and the mind, it's the body and the spiritual, all levels. You can have healing at any of those levels, and it's going to be beneficial. It's finding that balance, it's knowing and learning what's going to be right for you, and there's no easy answers with that. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just mute myself for 1 second?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello.
Now, I'm going to go to the solo for the moment because obviously I think it looks like Leanne's got a call she did have to answer there. So I'm just going to share this one too as well from Heather because she's got the chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, chronic rheumatoid arthritis, and struggles daily to move and function, creating some severe depression. Don't understand, but it's, you know, others don't. And what's that one? And yes, sometimes many don't understand, but it's not their fault. It's lack of information on the condition. And that's sometimes it's hard. Yeah. I've been sharing more and more of those types of messages and things from what I see on my feed, because I do have someone in my family that has the scleroderma, and so I'm understanding more and more the impact that that can have on someone's life. And there isn't enough knowledge about it. There isn't enough awareness of it. And one of the other things that does surprise me, I suppose, well, it doesn't surprise me, it's the ignorance of people when you've got a disability parking thingy, you know, those permits, and you display it and you use the parks, because sometimes for them it can be just so difficult. Oops, sorry, I pulled you back in when you were drinking. Oops. It can be difficult for some people. It's not that they look physically disabled, it's the effort to actually walk a distance. It's the being able to open your door fully so you can get the oomph to get out of your car even sometimes, and yet they look perfectly okay. And having people abuse them for using the part because they don't look like they need it, they don't have a wheelchair. It's not about that. And we need to be understanding if they've got the permit, they have the right to be there, and not, you know, bully them, because it's a form of bullying, isn't it?
It is. It really is. And see, chronic fatigue, you look fine, but you're not. I've had days where I've got out of the shower and I can be fine getting into the shower. I can get out of bed feeling reasonably good, have a few aches and pains, but just to have the shower is exhausting. There's been a couple of times that my husband has had to help me dry myself off and help me back to bed because I was just so exhausted. And it does. It's probably 80% of my week. I can have a shower, and by the time I get up, have my shower, get dressed, and then do what I've got to do, quite often I'll sit on the edge of the bed and just say to my husband, this is too hard. I can't do it today. But I've got to pick myself up and I've got to keep going. But at the same time, I need to listen to my body as well. So it's finding that balance.
Yeah, that's right. So, and there's so many here already who are saying and responding to this. It does happen to them. It shouldn't, but it does. Yeah.
And that's the thing. We don't ask for these conditions. You know, whether we're prone to them or it's something that, for me, my fibromyalgia was set off by an accident. I had a roof fall on me at a birthday party. So a whole veranda roof came down. But that trauma is what set off the fibromyalgia sort of thing with that. Now, it's not something I can cure and, you know, go and have surgery or do anything. It's something I've got for the rest of my life that I need to find a balance in. And for me, it's like listening to my body. Fortunately for me, when I work with spirit, I step out of my body in a sense that I let go of all my body pain. But the moment I come down from that, then it's like, oh, there's the aches and pains. Do I need to feel this? Sort of
we
thing.
might have another little chat like now. So for anyone that's expecting readings, don't put them up too high. We might get to it later. I'm finding this interesting because it's something that you felt last night you needed to talk about it. And there's other times where I've needed to talk about other stuff. Well, I mean, I did a healing drumming. Soul was telling me I needed to drum for cancer healing. around, some info I'd heard on that day. That's what and I did it. I didn't care the consequences. I just did it. I've had a few comments since, but hey, that's fine. And it's seeing this. It's also the other side of it, as far as, you might look a little bit like you're needing the help and the rest, even though it's not a wheelchair. It could be the walking stick and the rest, and how people actually talk to you like you're dumb or have got a mental illness. It's all that balance of understanding others and that, look, I'm not in their shoes,
Yeah. And that's the thing, because the illness has attacked our body, doesn't mean it's attacked our brain. Sometimes I think, it would be not, what it would be like if we didn't have that brain state going on, being so alert to correspond with what is going on in the brain and the body. The English helps. That's the fibro brain sort of thing, syndrome. And that's the thing, like, see, with me, with my fibro, when my body is tired, my fibro is active, my first thing to go is my eyesight. It goes blurry and I can't seem to clear it. It's blurry enough to be annoying. You feel like you've got to keep wiping your eyes. My thought process becomes cloudy and I have trouble getting my words out at times. Now, there's a difference between my fibro, tiredness with that, and talking with spirit, and the mouth, the head and the mouth don't keep up, sort of on par in that sense. So it's working out what's fibro, what's spirit in that way. But I have aches and pains now.
Yeah, and that's almost a thing of awareness of what our body's actually doing too, having that little bit of, knowing ourselves in that fully, the body and the mental and the soul. Not easy. And it's just, I'm not doing something crazy here, but you know how sometimes I was going to show that one. I'll show that one in a minute because I like it. But I'm just looking at my hair and I'm sort of thinking, sometimes it means we need to get up really close and, you can see the pores. Well, is it focusing? I don't want my nostrils there. But, pores on the skin and then, the eyes and looking deeply. And I noticed my hair and I thought, oh, God, that's really white. I need to do this more often because you don't see. I mean, do it for yourselves sometimes just to really look at it. There's my head that I don't see that. It's not something I get visible even in a mirror, right? Yeah. But when you actually got something that close, you can't see the whole picture. You actually really do have to pull you back from yourself and see the whole picture. Now, this one, I really love it. It was a gift. I love dolphins, and it's got the three-dimensional. Now, if you've had these holographic type cards yourself before, you know that you shift the focus and it's almost like you're seeing back into the depth. There is no depth. It is only a piece of paper or couple. But it's the amazement I feel staring at that, looking deeply into it, that when you said just then, or before, not just then, but you said you step back out with spirit to get away from the pain as partly it takes you away from the pain. Yeah. That's almost, it's a technique that anyone can do because that's a way that we're taught in learning the hypnosis as well. You're stepping back and away from what is the situation, what you're feeling in your body, as if you're looking at it, from above, sideways, behind yourself. You're being the witness. Exactly. So is that's what you're experiencing when you're doing that? Can you describe it in the way that you do it? Because it might help others to understand how maybe they can experiment with it for themselves.
You might not have that intuition. We all have intuition, but you might not be as aware of your intuition, or you might not be able to connect with spirit, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's just what I find if I go and do a reading day somewhere for the day, I step into that space of working with spirit. I let go of the physical, my physical sort of thing, and allow spirit to come through in the way they communicate. But we can do this with meditation, okay? There are different tools that we use. Now, if my doctors had their way, I would be on 11 different tablets a day. I take 2 currently at the moment, and that's more to do around my blood pressure than my fibro and stuff, because I wasn't liking what the tablets were doing. They weren't making much of a change to me. I was putting on weight, which was causing more issues on my knees, my hip, my bulging disc, where my injury is from the roof, sort of thing. So my choice was to use my meditation, my healing abilities, and heal myself. So I use meditation to get out of my mind. I will see myself down on the beach, and I've practiced enough that I can get myself to a point that I can feel the sand between my toes when I'm on that beach. You know, I might be sitting here in my lounge room or wherever, in my office, in the bed, laying in bed doing it. It's just like you take yourself out of your headspace, that head noise, the body, and you feel your energy somewhere else. And for me, the beach is where I like to be. So it's kind of like you can separate yourself in that sense. The other thing I do is I quite often see myself breathing in the white healing light into the cells and the areas where I've got pain and illness, sort of thing, injury, to try and heal from the inside out. Now, I've done this with people with cancer while they're having their chemotherapy. See the positive going in and seeing that eliminating the dark, the unhealthy cells type of thing. So it's amazing what we can do. There are techniques out there that we can do to help. It's not going to cure it, but it can make it a little bit more manageable. It can take the edge off. Sometimes when we're in so much pain, we get so much in our own heads, and that is just totally being human, okay? And that's where we forget to breathe. Our body needs that oxygen to breathe. So to sit there and do the meditation, to focus on your breath work, is giving your body what you're starving of it when you're in pain, because we're too scared to breathe at times because it hurts. It's like the human side of us takes over, and it stops us from doing those things that can actually help us in that sense. Okay, I've been at a stage where years ago, when I hurt my back through work cover, my kids were only very little. I didn't want to leave the house. I would have panic attacks. I couldn't handle being in shopping centres or around too many people. I would just have to get out. So I've been there. I've done, people look at me now, and I guess we had a little bit of a conversation like that last night, Roz, where what we see ourselves to be isn't necessarily the way others see us. So people might put us on a pedestal or whatever you want to call it and go, you've got your life together. Really, we have our own shit behind the scenes, but we're focusing on our work and finding a way to deal with that as well. So we're just as human as everybody else. Yeah. So I want to make, and I think it's important to make a point, for me anyway, that, you may be suffering with this stuff. I do too, but I kind of found a little bit of a balance. Don't get me wrong. I've got days that I end up on the couch, and you might not see me on the computer for a couple of days, but that's me listening to my body. That's me allowing myself to heal, to pick myself up, to keep pushing through. Okay.
Yeah. And as you go back to that, going back to that, the famous, the labels that others might put on us too, and
I struggled with that one.
How we had a laugh about it last night. The way that spirit actually gives you little messages sometimes, even though, like, I don't like Facebook all that much, but I'm learning about it and I'm getting into it because it's where a lot of the people are that I love, like family, friends, and you do grow to enjoy meeting people and getting to know them and joining in with different groups and purposes. And one of the things that flipped through in the sharing mode, because it's what Facebook is, still more social media than business platform, thankfully, but it was the story of Lady Gaga suffering from the chronic pain of, and I can't remember whether that was fibromyalgia or something similar, chronic fatigue, but she's in constant pain as well. And it is, everybody has their story. It makes no difference who you are, from the person in the street to the most famous in the world. Elon Musk has a problem, with bits and pieces behind the scenes, and I'm sure the royalty do. They're just people, and each of us still does need to deal with it in our own ways. And one of the things I've just noticed, the comment from Heather there, as far as the flute and drumming, I'm just going to go solo with that, because it's an avenue that I really find, for me, helps with getting that distance back from, like you were describing, Leanne, you're getting back from this being in that moment. You're actually witnessing it. I find being in the moment of the breath and doing the drumming or the flute or toning, just saying or singing a single note, and it can be just the I'm not doing it real well now because I'm not in the right mindset, but just doing that until you feel that click into a space that allows you to be just with the completeness of what is the only way I can describe it. And actually knowing that that's available anytime, all the time. It's how the practice comes into it, and the awareness, and transmuting that into being part of your everyday life. That doesn't have to mean sitting doing half an hour of meditation every morning and religiously doing some sort of a ceremony, which we talked about last night too, didn't we?
We do. We had a very big discussion on a lot of things last night.
Yeah, and that wasn't with any thought that this is going to be the subject today. It was just, the dream that came through this morning. It led me, I've got to share this, and just seeing that sitting on my desk this morning, I thought, oh, wow, like there's so much that we sometimes need to go up really close to, but it still needs for the full picture to stand back. You can't appreciate a piece of art, and that probably wasn't the best one. It's the top card that was there. You can't really appreciate a piece of art that close up. You've got to look back and stand back. The big ones that are on the walls in the museums, people go up and study each brush stroke. You've got to stand back to really appreciate the beauty.
Yeah. And I quite often say to my clients, take a step back, take a breath, ground yourself. The bigger picture will look clearer. Now, I think I've seen, because I worked out, Roz, how to find the comments in the background here. I'll explain that later to you.
Yeah, okay.
I did see a comment from Robin saying that it sounds like her. She sort of shuts herself off at home. And that's the thing, it's easy and it's second nature to go into that mindset of not going out. It's too hard. We get, I don't want to say defeated, because we're not defeated in a sense. It gets the better of us, if that's probably a better way to put it. But for me, I find by doing my work and pushing myself through it, because I can't heal it, I can't get rid of it, I still got to go on. We still got to live, because in my mind, I looked at the options I had. I could sit at home. I could become that vegetable that doesn't want to go anywhere, doesn't want to socialize. And I have moments still like that, okay? But I will give myself that time to do it. But then I choose to pick myself up. I push through the pain to a degree, and it's really, really hard. But when I'm doing things, whether it's my work, my travel, family time, going to the beach, it's giving me a mindset to focus on that kind of helps the pain. When I stop focusing so much on the pain, it kind of helps me to push that to the background and start to live, to breathe, to move. Yes. And the more I start to move, sometimes that pain eases, other times it doesn't. So it's finding a balance. You're drawn to the water too, Nicole. Yeah, I find it very healing. The beach, Mother Earth. You may be a water element, Nicole. As well. So it's finding what works for you. But sometimes even if you can't get out of the house, have something to focus on. I felt sorry for myself for such a long time. And when I had the back injury and the panic attacks and all that. But the moment I've learned, taught myself the tools. I was lucky enough to go to a pain management
the clinic
class type thing for 6 months, and I was able to work on slowing my breath down, and that was a big achievement in itself. But when you can slow your breath down and breathe longer and slower breaths and deeper, your body's getting what it needs from it than the short chesty, rapid breath, short breath sort of thing. But between the pain management class and what I've taught myself, I've kind of got to know when the panic attacks were coming on. So my first thought was to change my breath. I would quite often hold my stomach, and I'd have to breathe down to that. And that's the same with if you are experiencing somebody going through a panic attack, you need to change their focus. You need to get them to focus on their breath. And like I said, I took my sister one night years ago. I kept jabbing her in the belly, going, breathe here, breathe here. And I think she was getting annoyed with the fact that I was, jabbing her, but it's taken her mind from that hyperventilation to what's going on in her stomach. It's made her slow down. In that sense.
And it is a lot to do with that focusing the mind, because it's partly a hypnosis, self-hypnosis technique. It is stepping back, being the witness, the shamanic type practices that will put you in that space, what you've been able to find for yourself with the, going up with spirit into that space too. There's many different ways of doing it. I like that one, using the stars. I did show that, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Because it's
the thing, we can all find our own thing that works for us. Just because one thing works for another doesn't mean it's right for you, but it's finding what works for you. Nicole's a Pisces. That's why she's drawn to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. Oh, yes. Yep. So there's the comment. Pisces. I like when I'd put up Robin's comment about, I've just got to find it now, because it was to do with staying home, agreeing. It's so easy to stay home and not be bothered. I now can't find it. It's there somewhere, isn't it? Doesn't matter. There it is. Because it was only yesterday chatting with Tony on the phone, and it was along the lines of, gee, we can be self-contained, can't we? And he sort of, what are you talking about? And it was along the lines of, we have our technology that's around us. We have air conditioning. We've got comforts. We can ring up. Most people now do have a computer of some form, whether it's in the form of, the mobile phone or an iPad or whatever. We can connect and even order our groceries and have them delivered. And we don't actually have to leave the house anymore. It is something that is very easy to slip into. I've myself gotten into that habit. I don't feel like going anywhere. That mouse in the blankets that I started with, how easy it is to actually be the hermit, how easy it is to just sit in your depression, how easy it is to actually wallow in your illnesses and focus on that, and how hard it is sometimes to actually get moving out of that. What's the first step that some can take that really are finding it difficult? It can be just so hard, can't it?
It can be, and sometimes it's believing in ourselves. Sometimes it's having that push. I just noticed that Robin said she's a Taurus and Heather's married to one. See, they are stubborn. Look at your personalities. Tauruses dig their heels in. They are stubborn. So you may get in that headspace where you need to change your thought process. For me, it was one step at a time, one little achievement. I would start, like for my first time, I think we went out only somewhere for 10 or 15 minutes that I had to endure being outside of the car, sort of thing. And then I just built up. So I want to say it's okay to have those days where you just go, no, this is too hard. I'm going to try again tomorrow. But you've got to get determined to push through it. Some illnesses, we just need to move. there's like your arthritic and stuff like that. As much as it's painful to move, sometimes that moving is actually what helps, because it gets the blood, the oxygen's like going through the body more. I've forgotten the word I wanted then. And, you know, it can heal as we move. Sometimes we're not doing any more damage than what we've already got by doing those things. I'm very much more intolerant to staying home. For me, is wondering wonderful things like that loud. I love my own space. Yeah, and I do too. And I get to the stage where there's time.
It so resonates with me and where I am. That's
it. Nice and I did that for 3 days after Christmas. Yeah.
But see, I mean, thank you for sharing that. As far as it does, we do need to keep the movement happening. I sit on my bum a lot in front of the computer because I'm comfortable here. I love sharing in this way. And that reminds me, people. And even for those of you who are on the live, those of you who are going to watch as a replay, read the comments of everybody and feel that sharing, so that we are actually creating that energy around movement, around group healing, and putting that out there. I'm saying that as my computer says 11:11. So how powerful is that?
It is. It's very good. Yeah, that's it. I actually just had a comment there from Amy. Fake it till you make it. That's her motto. And I want to say yes and no, honey, with that. I think what comes to my mind, the why I don't like that comment in a sense, is there was a medium that I used to work with, and when I first met her, she used to say, fake it until you make it. And I hated that, because she was portraying herself to be somebody she wasn't, in a professional sense. Now, in your sense, when you're saying that, yes, because you are changing your process, your thinking to something, you're taking that negative and trying to replace it with a positive. So you will find that positive energy in that situation will take over. So yes, I totally do agree with you. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I've got to put the smile on, but my body is killing me. But, you know, I'm not going to let it get the better of me in that sense. So yeah, so in a professional way, I hate that saying, but as in that sense, and it's like everything I say to people, if you're stuck in that negative mindset, which you do with your depression, you get quite easily into that negativity in pain, because it's hard not to go into that negativity. Those negative thoughts come up, acknowledge them, give gratitude, let it go, even though it's not a positive thing, but you replace it with a positive thought, okay? Because you will find the more you bring in that positive energy, your mind will just start going positive. You're manifesting more positive thoughts. So you're letting go of that negative and you're changing that way, which then can help deal, when you're in more of a positive mindset, it's easier to deal with the pain, okay? It doesn't weigh you down as much.
Yeah, with that phrasing too, the fake it till you make it, I see it, totally agree with how you were describing that there, Leanne. But it's also the you're faking the feeling of what you want to have, so that that's what will be. It's not the being something that you're not, even though that's how a lot of people do interpret it. It's not that. It's faking the feeling as if you have it now. That's how I interpret. That's how I would use it for myself. I mean, everybody interprets everything differently, but yeah.
Charlene's just put it on there in different terms. Think it until you feel it. That's perfect. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, it's just more positive.
They're describing exactly what you'd already written. I didn't need to tell it.
And so that's the thing. So with the one that Amy used, that fake it until you make it, it's that professional sort of sense of me that has a memory that I can't stand in that side. But yeah, it is. It's the same thing. You're replacing it with more of a positive energy that you're bringing into it. So
yeah. And it's so too, just seeing this one as far as community. I don't know what the C ICL community is powerful. Well, I mean, all community is actually powerful, and community gathers together mostly for a purpose, but it's the energy around it, like the energy we attract here to this show, like it happens with other psychic mediums, like it does with other chat groups and everything. It has an energy around it. And, what's the purpose of here? It's just joining, I don't know, sharing. What is our purpose? I just have fun. I love sharing ways of helping others by, readings.
I want to say, sorry, hon.
And what?
Yeah. Amy just said, sorry, Leanne, laugh out loud. Sorry, hon, I cut you off. Don't be sorry, hon, because I totally understand that we put on that fake smile, we push through, and and it is the way. It's just that that meaning just has that voice that really gets my back up. As a psychic, you don't fake it until you make it, and that's what rubbed me the wrong way with it. So, and that's where my mind first goes, is that memory of that person. That's my issue, not yours, honey.
Yeah, I think with that we do, so as long as it is us, as in being that whatever the one that I did put up just a minute ago. Always be true to yourself
until you feel it.
Yeah, living your life that it's in your integrity, so that it doesn't really matter what else is happening around you. I mean, you still need to, for yourself, step back and look at the bigger picture of who you are in that jigsaw puzzle of what life is, because we do still need to be interacting and living in community, in society, in the country and the earth. I mean, there's just so much stuff that's going on that's really damaging to the earth, but there's still so much beauty. It's worth, the balance needs to be realigned. How do we do that? Part of what we do as psychic mediums and spiritual healers, therapists, works towards that. Be lovely if there was mass humanity working towards it too. There is. We just don't see it. It's like those diseases. It's what's the underneath. We don't see. It's still happening. We trust that. What's your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is trusting that sort of side of it. Sorry, I had Spirit talking in my ear as you were talking as well. Spirit's telling me I need to set up another closed Facebook group. No, it doesn't need to be closed. For people that can come together and support each other. I was reading, I think it was Heather's comment in about making friends and sharing the support and understanding each other. So Spirit, where I read that was going, you need to start a Facebook page up where we can all come together and we can support each other when we're having a down moment, when we're having a good moment, the whole lot in that side of it. So I might actually try and make time to do that as another page sort of thing as well. So I'll let you know when that comes up. Maybe I can do that through the week.
And it just depends, as you say, I'm thinking it may need to be a closed one to have that feeling of safety, that not everything that needs to be private is out there in absolute public open. But that's something that Spirit will guide you to.
That's it. Well, if I do that as a closed event, people can share and invite others to join it, and we just approve them. So it is a safe environment where we can say whatever we feel, sort of thing, and support each other. So,
and that's why, with this technology, could we have done this years ago? No, I'm from an age where, I sat in front of a computer typing the program in. That's how old I am. And, the physical effort you had to do to get groups together, advertise in your local paper, and all the old, and then it's not that long ago. I mean, it's only 40 years ago. It's the older way of having to do all that so slow, pre-planned. I'd have never got off the ground with anything. I just love the speed of all this. So keep it in mind, people. Figure it out. Keep an eye on what's coming up. Spirit does work with us in. So I'm surprised sometimes at just what happens when you actually trust. You trust the process of how you're working with Spirit. You're trusting that what you're actually receiving is the truth. It is for me. It is for you, and it is for those who are receiving it, and it's trusting that's the truth. So
exactly. Can I also say, I've just read Nicole's comment there about Murray Bridge women with fibro page.
Sure.
I want to say also something that has just come to my mind. For me as an empath, I've got to be careful not to take on other people's pains and stuff like that. So if you are in a group, it's good to be there, it's good to chat and be supportive of each other, but at the same time, we need to be careful not to take on others' energies, all right? And we can be there and be helpful and do what we need to do, but we can't, if we take on their energies, we start feeling that in our bodies. It's the same, like, I'll give you an example. If you're around somebody that is negative, and you might only be with them for 5 minutes, but they drain your energy, okay? That is you taking on their energy, them pulling on your energy, okay? So it can be one of those things that groups are really good to support each other and help. It's a good way to have your moment just to go blur and let everything out. But at the same time, you may be carrying energy of others around you. So you need to protect yourself in that sense, so you're not taking on others' pains and stuff as well, because it can wear us out.
Yeah, I think that's where mediums, we have had some training in doing the self-protection, and that and it's relevant even for an ordinary. I don't think there's anybody that's ordinary. I think we all have abilities that we just need to allow to grow, to be seen. It is. That's being in that space that you can actually commune with yourself to learn all that. And there's ways and techniques around that too. So, and that's where I just saw Paula's comment there as far as the jigsaw puzzle. When we're centered, we fall into place. So true. It's the trust in allowing that to happen.
Yeah, and doing that, just be true to yourself. That's what it comes back to. We just need to be ourselves. We need to be true to ourselves, not let something take over our lives or let somebody take over our lives. Just do what we need to do for us.
Yeah. So I know that there has been, what did I share then? Did I? No, it slipped past just as I went to click.
They move.
They do move very fast too sometimes. And that's part of the process. Heather would know some of the techniques too, as far as being able to let that energy clear around her, I would hope. Now, I saw, where is it? I used to tell my friend the mind is like a sponge and can only take in so much. And that's the other part of why it's like a sponge and can only take in so much, because we are still a physical being here in this earth, even though we have a soul that's connected to source and we do actually have the knowledge of all things. We can't in this mind and brain and being actually take it all in at once. So that's the trusting part too, of that we are given what we can handle. We're shown what we are to do next. We need to be open to actually receiving that info and trusting that that process is something we have actually planned in the big scheme, the big picture. You agree, Leanne? Any ideas further?
I do want to extend further on that again, because it's not just the mind that is a sponge. Our cells are a sponge as well. So living in pain and all that side of it, is that injury still there, or is that, and this is a question you can ask yourselves, there's no right or wrong to this, okay? Is that injury still there that is causing the pain, or is it the memory of the cells that is holding on to that pain? Because that is two different things. The body can heal, the injury can heal, but our cells, we in our memory of our body hold on to that pain. So that injury may have healed, but as cells, and it's not our own doing, but that is something to keep them in mind with that as well.
Yeah.
Because as a body and as an energetic field, I'm a big believer what sits in an energetic field becomes the physical.
Yes.
So if we're holding on to that in our body, have a look at those. For example, the first thing that comes to my mind is look at those women that have issues around their pelvis area, that lower hip area.
Mm.
Do you hold on to mother issues? Did you have a bad relationship with your mother, or do you hold on to things around there? Because sometimes, like, we can go to the doctor and they can't find a thing wrong with us, but there are things in our life that the different parts of the body represent, and that can cause problems there as well. All right.
Yeah.
So
and some
look at
that.
That's just something to think about.
Yeah, and some of that, even extending it further, some of that can be the genetic ancestral memory coming forward as we move through generations. And it's finding that cause, allowing it to be released. So, and that's part of what Spirit and your guides all be out. They do help you get to that point of being able to release the old ancestral genetics. It's my belief anyway. It's possible.
Exactly. Spiritual healing works for you. It works. It's done the job. It might be something that you might need to do every now and then. Who knows?
And there's one method there of Bowen therapy. So
exactly. So a Bowen therapist would be good to help with that.
Be guided.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Now,
I just want to say. Oh, sorry, hon. Go on.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, take a step back every now and then and just ground yourself, breathe, look at the bigger picture rather than the surface, because I'm a big believer in looking at people and going, okay, well, let's break this down and see what's going on in your life to what could be causing, whether it's the physical, the emotional, the mental, the whole lot sort of side of it as well. So there are so many tools and things and programs out there that can help. It's just finding what helps for you. I took that step to choose to not allow this pain to get the better of me, my fibro. But in saying that, I have days where I give in and allow it a certain time period and then go, right, that I'm over this. I'll allow myself a day, but within 5 or 6 hours, I'm bored. If I've slept, that's fine. But if I haven't, I'm bored. It's like, no, I've got to pick myself up and I've got to keep moving. But it's taking the time to find that balance. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, isn't it? Now, I am aware time is marching on. It's 27 past now. So, but it doesn't limit us to actually still connecting in different ways, different times, because you have sessions yourself that you do readings for those who I'm more speaking to those who have asked for a card or a reading on this chat stream. We're not going to get to that, but I thought, well, what I would do is I'm working with these lovely Lenormand cards. I just love the artwork.
I love them. They are beautiful.
The one up that will be the focus, I feel, and what we can use is that. Now, before I do that, what time is your next session that anybody can connect in with?
Oh, to watch, I will be on my Time TV tonight at 8:30 with Yvonne, and then I'm back again tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 8:30 on a solo. So, and people can actually come on screen and join in with me for that one if they wish to, if not ask questions.
Sorry, what I'm trying. Better not have technology. It will not call me. I've been using it too many years. I'm going to give Butch a go at about 1 o'clock. And I'm hoping the main thing. There is a link somewhere on my page, or I just can't remember where I've put it. I'll put it up again as I come close. 1 o'clock today. And that will be to Twitch. If anybody hasn't seen Twitch, I'm playing around with it because I don't understand it. It's a gaming channel, but people are hijacking it for talk shows, just chatting and other stuff. So I thought, give it a go. So that's what I'm doing. I think I said it'll be crystal ball reading, but I still haven't found I still haven't found the ball. I've got it back somewhere.
You nearly said it. You nearly said that word.
Naughty word. So on that naughty word, I'm going to solo this. And if you would like, just focus on the picture in the ship, Gilded Reverie, Lenormand card. If I've frozen, I hope I haven't. Take your eye to where it's going and focus what's it saying to you. The broad description of the ship is basically travel, moving on to somewhere for some time out. It can be short travel, it can be long travel, it can be a meeting, but it is actually getting out and being part of whatever the purpose is that you're going for. It's about travel. That's the other thing I like with those cards, is that they are quite direct to, you ask a question and it's a direct little thing. It's a ship, it's travel. Easy. Take your mind, how are you going to get yourself moving if it's something because we're talking about depression. Yeah, that's the deck.
And the deck there, if anybody's wondering which deck Roz is using, they are a beautiful deck.
I've just been really enjoying using those at the moment. And I know several people who are using them, love them too. It's the artwork. The other thing is the gilded. I like the gilded tarot. Beautiful artwork. You're all just go with trusting where you're led, where your soul's leading you. Your soul is in communion with your guiding spirits, spirit guides. Which way is it, Leanne? Does it matter?
Sorry? I was reading the comment, the spirit
guide spirits. Doesn't
with your
matter,
guides.
does it? Yeah, your guide.
You go with what just works for you.
So trust it. And if you feel guided to actually share this with others, do so. Read through some of those comments. When I did realise I was glitchy, my stream's getting pretty bad. I don't know why. It's technology.
Robin's just put a comment up there that I need to make a deck of cards. Robin, no. I have 3 books on the go that I need to finish writing first. I want to write some programs. It's
yeah.
Oh, there's so many things that Spirit's pushing this year. Yeah.
Where what we do will lead. So thank you, people, for participating, for being here, listening to us. Thank you so much, Leanne, for being part of my show. I really enjoyed it.
It's my pleasure. I do too. I love it.
Thank you.
It gets me out of bed every Tuesday morning.
So yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm out of bed, and that I think share somehow. Did that work or go away? I'm just going to try it again. It's not, is it? Is that showing as black? Yeah, it's showing up as black. Yeah, my mouse. I was screen sharing that mouse again, but he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's not there.
I think so. It's showing on mine, but it wasn't showing on our, how we see the screen in the back end. So without further ado, we'll see you next week. Same time, it's 10:30 on TV.live, and the links are wherever they end up, cross-posted or shared. Who knows? And we'll be here then, and we'll see you for now. Bye.
Okay.